If you're new to my channel, I'm currently turning this full transit into an urban stealth, off-grid, go anywhere, sleep anywhere camper van. And today I'm going to give you a little update on my progress thus far. Now I'm back from Tenby. I've been working on this van all day. I've done my Vapour Barrier, and underneath the Vapour Barrier, let's start at the beginning shall we, is recycled plastic insulation. And for the Vapour Barrier itself, I've just used builders polythene. It's what they use in houses after all. If it's good enough for a house, it's good enough for a camper van. That's my uptake on it anyway. Now a lot of people like to use this bubble wrap. It's like silver foil, aluminium coated, bubble wrap. Personally I think it's well overpriced and a complete waste of time, because it has absolutely no R value whatsoever. All it does is reflect heat back, and I've got a sneaky feeling it kind of holds heat as well. So if your van gets hot in the summer, it holds the heat in. Just like the metal skin of your van stays warm. It just don't sit right with me for some reason, and I really do think it's just a fad. So I like to use this polythene. Now if you don't agree with me, please do leave a comment below. I'll be interested to see how you feel about that. You can shoot me in the comments below. Right, so enough said about that. It's just polythene. Right, so you can see this wire hanging down here. So this wire is for the fan, for the ceiling fan. There's my square frame there, and again the polythene I've wrapped around it. I've sealed it so it's completely sealed. No vapour is going to get the wrong side of that polythene. Now when I'm ready to fit my fan, what I do, and I've said this before in previous videos, I won't dwell on it, I'll drill a hole in each corner, and once I've drilled a hole in each corner, I'll get on top and I'll mark out a square using those 4 holes as reference point, cut the hole out, drop the fan in, job done. Really simple. Now this wire here, this is for the front lights. I've got a wire up here for the middle lights, and a wire sort of halfway down the van each side, and this is where the charge socket's going to be for mobile phones, laptops and all that good stuff. Now they are the only wires that are going to be the other side of my cladding. All the other wires, like wires for the water pump, the Chinese heater, the fridge, all that good stuff, it's all going to be this side. It's not going to be buried in the wall. I like to have those wires out exposed, well not exposed, they'll be hidden in the cupboards. What's the word? Accessible, there's the word I'm looking for. I like to have all that stuff accessible, so that if any of those little gadgets or appliances go wrong, then you can swap them about, change them easy. The wires you can get to, so you can this just makes life easier when things go wrong, and inevitably they do. Unfortunately, call me a pessimist, even though I'm quite optimistic. I'm optimistic that things do go wrong, put it that way. So all the wiring, I put minimum wiring behind the cladding. I only put the stuff behind the cladding that needs to be. Everything else, like I say, I have it so it's accessible. Just makes life that much easier. Including the charge controller, which is down here on the floor. Let me show you this. I must show you this charge controller. It's amazing. It's a real game changer, I think. Now most vans, including mine, my camper, I have a split charge relay which charges my leisure battery when the engine's running. I have a separate solar controller that charges the leisure battery when the sun is shining. But this van is going to be completely different. It's going to have one controller that does everything, and I'll show you it. It's on the floor down here. Take a look at this. Have a go at that. Now this could be, like I say, a real game changer. It's so simple to wire up as well. There's literally 6 wires going to the bottom, 2 for the solar controller, 2 that go to the main car battery, or in this case van battery, and then 2 wires going to the leisure battery. And there's one more little connector there, which is for the temperature sensor, and it senses the temperature of the leisure battery, safeguards it. I don't know what you do in the case of having 2 leisure batteries. I guess you just put it on one. And literally, let's get it out of the box, I'll show you. It just goes on the terminal with the battery by the looks of it. And that's actually a little thermostat in there. yeah, I'm wiring it up. I'll show you the wiring diagram. I mean, this is child's play. Look at that. It's so simple. Really, really simple to do. So I'm quite looking forward to trying that out and checking it out, and I'll do a full review once it's fitted and let you know if it's any good. And if it is any good, I might even get one for my van and change my van completely. Which brings me back to putting all the wires where they're exposed or accessible. Because my wiring is all accessible, it's really simple for me to change all my wiring and fit one of these. And that's the reason I do it, because you can change everything about. So yeah, really looking forward to trying that out. And I think they're only about 180 quid. So when you think about it, I paid, I think my split charge relay with all the kit and all the wires and everything was about 80 quid. My charge controller for the solar panels, that was about another 20 quid. So yeah, it's not really that much dearer. And it's an MPPT solar controller as well, which apparently is really good. I have no idea what it means, but apparently that's what everyone's using nowadays. So there you go, that's update on my progress so far. I've now got to go to Wickes. No, I won't, I'll go in the morning. It's a bit late now, it's starting to get dark. I'll get my cladding, because the next job is actually putting the cladding up. So yeah, once the cladding's up, then I can start building the furniture, and that's the bit I'm really looking forward to, because this van is going to be a completely different layout to mine. We're going to have a kitchen unit going right across the back of behind the seats there, and an L-shaped sofa at the back, and some cupboards here and there. So it should be really nice. I'm really looking forward to doing that. But before I do all that, I've got to do the cladding first. And once the cladding's done, I can crack on and yeah, really start getting into it and get the old brain cells going then and figure out where everything's going to fit. That's the bit I enjoy, the actual building of the interior. All this stuff is yeah, it's what's the word, it's not tiresome, it's like doing the foundations to a house. You have to do this bit before you can start actually building your house. So yeah, it's pretty much the same no matter what van you build. Doing the insulation, doing the Vapour Barrier and the battens. I mean, for the battens, oh yeah, these battens by the way are just strips of plywood that I've taken from the original plywood lining that was in the van. So I've recycled it, I've upcycled it, I think that's the word, isn't it, they use nowadays. So I've taken the original plywood paneling, just cut it into strips and turned it into battens. It's better than it going into landfill at the end of the day. You don't see it, so it's all hidden behind the I forgot what it's called now, behind the cladding. So yeah, it doesn't matter. And that's what it looks like. I think the last video I showed you the steps that I make to make sure it's nice and straight. Well, there you go, you can see there, it's nice and straight. It's got a slight curve to it because obviously it's the side of a van, so it does kind of have this little curvature. But at least now you can see what it looks like. And for the top battens, I've used this as thin as I possibly can timber for the ceiling, so that you don't lose too much head height. I mean, I'm 6 foot. Yeah, I'm 6 foot, so there's still plenty of head height there. By the time I put the cladding on there, it won't really take up that much room. Oh yeah, and that end batten here, above here, because of the curvature of the ceiling, I've actually glued that up there with mastic. There's mastic, you can see the little black mastic there. You can see it on my fingers. It's proper messy stuff. But that's set now, that's only been up there since this morning. And to hold that in place, I simply put some timber up here to hold it in place whilst it was setting. And yeah, so the cladding for the roof will come across and go into there. I think I've got to step this down a bit because that might be a little bit too high. It won't be quite level, but the ceiling does kind of slope down, so it should be all right. It should work out about right. But nevertheless, that's there now. That's set. It's glued. So in the morning that'll be super strong. It'll be, yeah, it should be more than set. more than adequate to hold the weight of the ceiling. So there we go. I think I'll wrap this up now. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, do please consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, that way you won't miss a thing. And I'll see you possibly tomorrow. I'll be doing the I'll be finishing off the cladding, hopefully. Right, ta-ra for now. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching.